What is up? What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. I want to talk about Dogecoin with you guys. Don't talk a lot about Doge on our videos, but definitely cover it on our live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. Guys, you guys know I jump back into Doge. I'm definitely investing in Doge. Some of the reasons I'm invested in Doge is some of the reasons that just came out this weekend. Elon Musk has really looked at expanding and bringing out XPay. Here's an article right here. A lot of the FOMO into XPay is that Dogecoin will be used for a payment on XPay's platform. I don't necessarily disagree that Dogecoin will be a one of the tokens that are used for payments on XPay. I don't believe that it'll be the only one. But I don't think that it'll be the only one, but I think it will be an option on XPay for payments, right? And after this, after we do look at this chart and look at where I think Dogecoin could go. And this is barring a whole bunch of stuff. This is strictly speculation, right? Strictly speculation. I'm going to start off by saying that this is purely speculation. Anything can happen between now and then. Any news can come out and absolutely sink this whole theory of what I think is going to happen and where I think Doge is going to go. So understand that this is one of them very speculative plays that I'm talking about, and I'm making some assumptions here, right? So, but we will talk about some of the reasons that I think that Dogecoin will be on XPay, and some of the positives and negatives to that. So, with that, let's just go ahead. Let's look at the chart and let's talk about where I think Doge could go and why I started putting some more money back in Doge. So as we're looking at the chart over here we're looking at this chart on coin and we're looking at this chart, guys. Sorry about that. The Dogecoin price right now is sitting around 8 cents. Right now about 8.6, right? Definitely been on a nice little run lately. Let's go ahead and this is a weekly chart too, guys. Only way to really get a good look at this is to zoom out on the weekly chart here. You guys can see the big run Doge went on in the last bull run. We'll get to a little bit of that, right? But we're looking at the weekly chart. Let's go ahead and look at what's been going on lately, right? So when we look at Doge here, and Doge is sitting, it's been bouncing around this 5 cent to 8 cent level. It's so predictable, right? It'll come down about 5 or 6 cents. It'll run up to 8 cents, come right off of this resistance line at 8 cents, bounce right back down, right? Boom, 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 boom. You can see it week after week after week. It happens, right? So here we are today, right? Sitting around this 8 cents level right here. So here's the key, guys. This is the right around a 10 cent level, 10.6. Let's call it 11 cents, right? Close to 11 cent level right here, right? So about 10.7, 10.8, but we're going to call it 11 just for the sake of conversation, right? So let's just call this 11 cents for the sake of conversation. People will probably comment on this and say, well, it's 10 to 6, 7, 9. It's 11 cents, guys, for the sake of this video. So we can see this, right? So this has been a resistance line for Doge. If you go back, right, it hits this level, bounces down, bounces down, bounces down, bounces down. You can run these lines back. It bounces off of this 11 cent level right here all the time. Boom. It's a big resistance level, right? So my thought here is with this news that's coming out, a lot of FOMO that's going to come in. Can Dogecoin get above this 11 cent level and hold this level for roughly about a week, right? If it can do that, right, then that's going to build, it's going to break this resistance level. It's going to build a lot of FOMO that comes into Doge, right? And where does Doge go from there, right? When you look at this level right here, don't worry about the wicks. We're not going to do the wicks. Somebody else can do the wicks. But to me, them are quick spikes and boom. Most of your liquidity levels are sitting right down here on the candles, not the wicks. This is where the liquidity sits. So when you look at this right around 11.8, right up in here, about 12 cents. Let's call it 12 cents, right? So 12 cents here was its last big liquidity drawdown, right? So you get to that 11 cents mark and it starts to make this run, up. I believe it can get to 14 cents right here. If you look back, there's a ton of resistance at 14 cents, a lot of liquidity at 14 cents that wants to drop this thing, right? Wants to drop this thing out, right? So the key levels for Doge and why I'm investing in Doge is I want to see if it can get up here and break this 11 cent mark, get to this 14 cent mark. And after that 14 cent mark, and I think with enough FOMO from Doge Pay, X Pay, or whatever, and that being on Doge, and the amount of liquidity that's been gained by people that have been DCAing all the way down, I think that this thing will break this 11, possibly run up to this 14, and after that 14 you're looking at like 22, 23 cents, right? So we'll talk about that at a later date. Let's get to the 11, right? Let's see if we can break the 11 on this news right here and get a possible run up to that 14 level right there. Get to that 14 cent level right there. If we can get to that 14 cent level, we can hold that for a week. We'll come back here, we'll have this whole conversation about how Doge is going to run up to 22 cents, right? But let's get to this 14 cent level first, right? That's the key. That's where we got to get to. We got to break this 11 cent resistance line, and it's got to hold it for about a week. I'm gonna call it about a week that it's got to hold that line. It can't just spike up there and come right back down. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for that at that 11 cent level. We're looking for that to hold a little bit right there, right? So that's the key. So let's get into some positives and some negatives about this conversation with Doge being on XPay. I do believe it'll be on XPay. Like I said before, I don't think it'll be the primary token on XPay. I think people are taking that a little bit too serious. Um, here's the positives. It's on XPay. It puts Doge out in front of everybody again, gives Doge legs, and gives it that positive push up for that everybody's been looking for from Doge for a long time, right? So it's going to give it that boost, that push, right? But let's be honest, Doge doesn't have any utilities to keep that push moving. So it's got to be the FOMO. It's got to be all that. It's got to be, there's nothing built in the Doge ecosystem to keep that thing moving, right? The downside to this whole thing is Doge is going to mint tokens on the way up, right? So, we know when we get to certain volumes that Doge starts to mint tokens. It's not deflationary token, it's an inflationary token, right? So it continually mints, right? So if Doge has this big push up and then all of a sudden has a big push down, it's gonna continually get harder for Doge to make that rise up, that push up, and continue to push up, because now there's more tokens in the ecosystem and there's no real burning mechanism for Doge to get rid of them tokens, right? So when they're there, they're minted, they're going to stay there. It's just how it is. It's going to be harder for that push up to happen. So with these big push ups with Doge, got to have big push ups because they're creating volume. And if we have big drops, gotta know that we're adding tokens on the way up. So it's gonna be harder to get back up to them levels. So that's the downside to this, right? And you just think about that is if a bunch of people do start to use Dogecoin on X and that volume continually starts to come in, you're going to be in a situation where this thing is constant. It's like a money printer, right? It's just going to keep printing, and at some point it's going to print so much that it's just going to fall down without a burning mechanism built into it. So positives and negatives of this thing. Purely speculative play, guys. Like I said before, I don't. We'll see how this thing plays out. We'll see. Like this could very well happen, guys. We could see a 22-cent Dogecoin. We could see that, right? We definitely could see Doge up here at these higher levels at 22 cents. But it's gonna take a minute for it to get there. It's got to come through this 11 cents. It's got to come through this 14 cents. And then we can talk about this 22 cents. But let's really get to this 11-cent mark. I think that's a key level for this thing. And if we can hold that level, I think there's upside there. I think there's enough upside and FOMO from there to kind of send this thing a little bit. So there you guys go. There's about Dogecoin video. That's kind of why I started putting some money back in Dogecoin. Get along for the ride, see what happens, and go Doge. Let's go. Let's ride it. This Dogecoin content. If you like this Dogecoin content and you want more, go ahead and like this video. Leave me a comment underneath too. Tell me whether you liked it. Tell me whether you didn't like it. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you didn't like it. Tell me if you guys want more Doge content. But go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, and if you like content like this and I keep bringing it to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Smash that bell notification for when I put out videos. Hey, and you guys, we'll get at you guys on the next one. You guys have a great day.